for a positive outcome.
So say more about that, Leslie. Name something that you would be that you would do in making a difference. How do you know when you're the player and how do you know when you're the opponent?
Well, I was going to give you an example.
Yeah.
So let's say I decided I'm not going to do my homework anymore for a week because I don't want to.
Okay.
And so I'm successful at not doing my homework for a week,
Yeah.
but I'm unsuccessful in the end because now I got a bad grade.
Yes. So that would be winning at
So
winning or winning at losing.
winning at losing would be I accomplished my goal of not doing my homework for a week.
You accomplish your goal of not doing your homework. So yeah, exactly right. You're doing great.
So then the other would be winning at that would be an example of that one.
Okay.
Winning at losing.
So you could see. So say more about. So how do you know when you? When do you recognize that you're the player or you're the opponent in this situation?
And this situation would be the opponent.
You're the opponent. When do you recognize that?
The end result.
So it said in regards to basketball, are we saying that when the game is over, when you look at the scoreboard, you look and say, oh, the opponent won?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, so in that example, is it? Does that change the outcome of the game? That if we recognize that the opponent at the end of the game,
I mean, I could obviously see it was going in the wrong direction as the time as each day went by.
okay,
right?
so you recognize somewhere before the game was over, you recognize, so let's take a look at that. When do you know when you're being the opponent?
I think you know right away.
So say, when do you recognize that you're being the opponent? So you're saying right away. How do you know when you're being the opponent or the player?
When it's right or wrong.
So do you have an example where you would?
Well, as a student, my duty is to do my work and
Mhm.
get good grades. So if I'm not doing my homework, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay. So anytime that you're not doing your homework, you're being your opponent.
Mhm.
And how does that feel? Feels bad. Okay, and if you were doing your homework and moving towards the score, how does that feel? Feels good. So can we see that you would recognize your opponent or your player by how you feel? How you feel in the present moment is an indicator to let you know if you're being the player or the opponent. So what's another example? What's another example of winning at winning or winning at losing in your life?
Eating chocolate cake when I'm on a diet.
Eating chocolate cake when you're on a diet. Great.
It feels good at the moment, but then later, it's like, oh, I feel so bad. I feel depressed. It's terrible. I feel sad.
So is that winning at winning or winning at losing?
That's winning at losing.
Okay. Great. And so what would be winning at winning?
Having a healthy choice. Having a healthy choice and not feeling guilty and feeling good about eating something healthy.
Mm-hmm. And how would that feel if you made a healthy choice? How would that feel in the moment when you saw the chocolate cake and didn't eat the chocolate cake?
I would be depressed just for a quick minute.
Lose
No, me, I'd be happy and I feel kind of good that I don't do that.
Right?
Yeah,
But it doesn't feel good at the moment. I mean, this, obviously when you're.
well, when you set up a goal, you're gonna lose 10 pounds.
Mhm.
When you reach that goal, that's feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
And what if you went to the gym and you worked off like twice as many calories as the chocolate cake, so then you felt like you earned it?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Then, like, that would be like a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Right?
So Perfect. Everything you said is exactly right, Vicky. That sometimes it might be uncomfortable taking actions on a goal that's important to you, and it might feel uncomfortable. You might feel sad. You might feel upset when you move to that. But you know, if you continue to take actions on it, that you're going to feel happy and excited that you completed the goal. Okay.
That's me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I try not to do things because I don't like to feel kind of worried or maybe sad.
And you look at that on a long term. You say, oh, I know that this won't help me in the long term, how I feel.
Yes.
Great. Perfect. Well done. So who is responsible for who wins the game?
Me, myself, and I.
Me, myself, and I. Well said. Me, myself, and I. Now, does life care about your goals? Does life care about which way, how you play?
It's impartial.
Life's impartial. Doesn't care if you're the player or the opponent. That whatever you do with your time, whatever you do with your life, life is going to respond to. You could think of it as like a garden, that when you plant seeds, whatever you plant it's just going to grow. So who's responsible for if you win or lose? Or win at winning, winning at losing?
The players.
Me, myself, and I again.
Me, myself, and I. Exactly. And so it's your choices that will determine which way it's going to go. So the question for here during this program, during the time that we're here, is what are you going to choose? To be the player or be the opponent? We're done. Yay.
Okay?
Yay!
You got your choices.